Hello, and welcome to Cheers. That's one woman's opinion. I am your host, Carolyn Mills. Today we'll be looking at Cheers Season 2, Episode 7, Old Flames. This episode first aired on November 17th, 1983. It was directed by James Burrows. It was written by Glenn Charles, Les Charles, James Burrows, and David Angle, who again, Angle passed away in 2001 in the 9/11 attacks. Those of you who watch this regularly or listen regularly may notice that every time I get to a person who has passed away, I um mention that again. The reason I do that each time is one, I don't always remember who I've already mentioned, but the other reason being for the new people, I want them to be updated in case they don't know. So our guest cast includes Fred Dryer as Dave Richards. He is a returning guest star, and Elizabeth McIver as Dee Dee. Cheers is filmed in front of a live studio audience, was said by Shelley Long in this episode. So let's go ahead and hop into our summary. In our cold open, Norm comes in and says he has a date with Arlene Hosley from a job he got fired from, which we know Norm often gets fired from his jobs. He has a real hard time holding on to jobs, mostly because he's always leaving work to go to the bar. They went to see Gandhi. He tells him that he is still on the date and went to get popcorn, and he'll be back in an hour when he goes to get jujubes. I have heard of jujubes, and since I was alive when this aired, I was 3. Um, I would have been around for the jujube era, but I've never actually seen a jujube, so I looked it up, and it's a fruit gummy candy, and they discontinued them in 2012. I actually don't like gummy candy, so that may be why I wasn't too familiar with them. I just never would have interested me. Where everybody knows your name plays. Sam and Diane come in from their date. They kiss and Carla yells, "Yuck!" Diane says she and Sam were at some art galleries. Norm asks if Sam lost a bet. I love how well they know Sam to know that he would never choose himself to go into a art gallery to look at art and whatnot. But Diane says that Sam is developing an appreciation for art. Carlo then tells Sam to name any piece of art he saw today. Then, to make it even easier for him, she says, name any piece of art ever. Sam tells her, Michelangelo's two muscular guys touching fingers. Carlo's actually surprised that he got that. The painting that he's actually referring to, where the two muscular guys are touching fingers, is actually the creation of Adam, painted by Michelangelo. Diane is frustrated. Cliff tells her she's going against eons of biology. Diane declares that the level of conversation can't get any lower. And of course, right on cue, Dave Richards walks into the bar. And of course, you may remember Dave Richards is played by Fred Dryer. Um, and Fred Dryer, who plays Hunter in the series Hunter in the 80s, was actually one of the finalists to be Sam Malone. And originally, Sam was going to be a football player. Because I think Fred Dryer played football. I'm not sure, but he had that look, so originally that was the plan. But then obviously Ted Danson won out. But it's good because he was great for the role of Dave Richards. And obviously he did a great job on Hunter. He tells Sam that he and Brenda split up. I don't recall him ever mentioning Brenda in the previous episode that he was on. So I don't know where Brenda came from. It's weird. I don't know if maybe I forgot and they mentioned her. Maybe they can let me know on that. But it could have also been they added her, but it was weird to mention they split up when she was never mentioned. He suggests that he and Sam go round up women. Sam starts to leave with him, then sees Diane. He claims that he is having blackouts. Sam tells Diane he wasn't thinking and that it was an automatic reaction. Dave can't believe Sam and Diane are a couple, which pretty much goes with everybody in the bar. If you remember the episode where they first got together and everybody was like, you're going to need the good luck and whatnot. So really, nobody can believe they're a couple. I don't even think Sam and Diane can believe that they're a couple. Sam says that they have a good thing going. which is really funny since which I'll get to it. I'm gonna jump ahead for a second. He mentions they never go more than a whole day. They've never made it a whole day without fighting. So I wouldn't say it's a very good thing if you can't make it a whole day without an argument. And as you know, their whole relationship was off to a rocky start where she threatened to call the cops and he was trying to be all like cavemanish with her. So definitely not really a good thing. Dave says he will return when they split up because he has an hour to kill. So obviously, even Dave realizes just in the few minutes he's seen them together that this relationship is pretty much doomed. And as you know, if you're a regular follower of the show, you would already know that their relationship is on again, off again. However, Sam tells him they will not split up. Dave says he will break them up within 24 hours. Diane says they have transcended time. That's actually a line that's sometimes shown in clips. They didn't do a lot of clip shows, but that has been shown. And on other like news things when the show was ending, they were all over the news and whatnot. It's a big deal. And that was often shown the transcended timeline. Sam points out that they have never gone 24 hours without fighting, as I have said. Um, so you kind of think, okay, how are you guys gonna succeed when you can't do it any other time? And now there's more pressure because somebody's trying to break you up. And then they start fighting over how often they fight. But Sam ends up telling Diane that she's right just to stop the fight. Dave returns and asks Sam for Lydia's number. Sam gets out his little black book and then tells Diane, since she won't be, sorry, Dave then tells Diane, since she won't be with Sam tomorrow, maybe they can hook up, but Diane turns him down. Diane is upset that Sam still has his little black book. And I can understand that she would be upset by this, but at the same time, they haven't been going out that long. Um, maybe he could put it in storage or something. I don't know. Maybe he should get rid of it. I don't really know how I feel about that, but I can understand her point of view that she would be bothered. But whether or not that means she's right, I do not know. And at the same time, I tell you, Dave plays it well. He knows that Sam probably has that black book and intentionally asks for Lydia's number, so he will get the black book and Diane will see it, trying to instigate an argument. Sam tells her that he has emergency numbers in it. Diane actually asks him about one of the people in the book, and he says that she's the plumber. Carl refers to her as the only plumber whose house you have to go to. But then Sam says he's not holding on to it. He just hasn't gotten rid of it yet. Diane says she'll help him, and she hands the little black book to Cliff. Cliff declares he can see and walk now. Diane says it would be a great gesture if he got rid of it. Sam tells her she is nuts. They argue and are ready to break up just as Dave walks in, and they quickly stop fighting. It's kind of funny they're not staying together because they care at this point. They're staying together because they don't want Dave to be right. Carla suggests Sam break up permanently with Diane. Sam questions him and Diane being together. The coach tells him, Love, who can explain it? And then he says he has a theory. I wish that they had actually let Coach share his theory because I'm kind of curious what that theory would have been coming from Coach. Because Coach always has some interesting things to say. Usually not right, but always interesting. Carla asks Coach to take her home. She reminds him not to forget his keys. He then tells her they have to hurry because he left the window open and it looks like rain. He actually goes through a whole thing about how he left something unlocked so we could get this in. And then at the end, he remembers, oh, I forgot the key. Goes back and gets it, and that's when he realizes, oh, the window's open and it's gonna rain. So obviously having the doors locked won't help if windows are open. Sam offers to rip out X through Z and all but one of Q. Diane tells him he doesn't understand and there's nothing left to say. She leaves and Sam retapes the ripped pages back in. Great scene where he's trying to actually reattach the pages to his little black book. Dave returns. Sam says she left. Oh, sorry. Dave returns and asks for Diana's. Sam says she left early to hang pictures of him. Dave comes in with Valerie and Dee Dee. He asks Sam to make sure Dee Dee gets home. Sam asks where she lives, and she tells him Chicago. Another great moment where Sam is totally shocked thinking he's got to drive her all the way to Chicago. But then she tells him she's in Boston overnight as a stewardess on a layover. Sam wants to call a cab, and Dee Dee says she heard that Sam was fun from Dave. And then Sam leaves with her because he wants proof he is still a fun person. The next day, Coach asks Norm why he's not on a date with Arlene. Norm suddenly remembers he is on a date and leaves. And again, I mentioned that he never keeps a job because he doesn't stay long. You see this again with the date. He's constantly leaving his date to go to the bar, and it gets to the point he even forgets he's on the date, and then suddenly he's like, "Oh, I gotta get back." Probably the issues that Vera's having with him. In fact, well, they're split up here because she mentions they never communicate and whatnot. Carla comes in and tells Coach that it was his turn to pick her up, and Coach admits he forgot, and she tells him it's okay. And it's funny because Coach actually wants to make it right, so he tells her, tomorrow you go ahead and forget to pick me up. He thinks that'll even it out. Like I said, Coach has great ideas, even if they're not all on the ball there. Diane comes in and says he wants to apologize to Sam. She goes back and forth between blaming Sam and wanting to apologize. She's having this whole conversation with herself, like she's processing the black book in her head and whether or not it's really wrong or if it's okay. But she's processing it in her head out loud. Coach grabs the phone and says, "Cheers." Carl informs him that ringing is in your head. And then there's another great moment. Well, Sam comes in and rushes Diane into the office, to tell her something. And at that moment, the phone rings, and Coach just keeps going about what he's doing, and the phone keeps ringing. Cliff asks him, are you going to pick up the phone? And Cliff, or Coach tells Cliff, "Oh, it's okay, Cliffy, that's just in my head." And he doesn't realize that Cliff hears a meeting, not in his head. But great moment there, too. She tells Diane he took a beautiful woman home last night, but thought about Diane and told her that they couldn't do anything. Diane spits at him. Sam honestly thinks he did a really great thing here, taking this woman home and not having sex. All Diane hears is, "I took a woman home." Very beautiful woman at that, which is why she spits in his face. And it's kind of funny because in Sam's mind, he did a really great thing. But she is angry that Sam was with another woman, and Sam doesn't understand. He has never said no to a woman. I don't think it was in this episode because I think I would have written it down. But there's an episode where he says that the closest he's ever come to saying no to a woman is "not now, the airplane's landing" or something like that. Um, I'll I don't know, it's Diane years or Rebecca years, but he has mentioned the not saying no another time. I just don't remember when it was because I don't remember saying it in this one. Anyway, Diane announces they are really broken up now. And of course, this is when Dave comes in. Dave has amazing timing. Diane is ready to tell Dave that she and Sam broke up, but Sam stops her and tells Dave he almost made a mistake. And he doesn't quite realize the mistake was bringing her home, like I said. So he did make a mistake. He almost made another mistake, but he did not have sex with her. But he says that he now knows that he is crazy about Diane and nothing will come between them. Diane is happy again. Sam tells Dave to watch him kiss Diane. Dave tells him, "Dee Dee said you were the best kisser she's ever had." Again, he plays the cards right. He knows just what to say that's gonna set off buttons and whatnot, push buttons. Um, Dave is good at what he does. So I gave this episode 4 out of 5 beer nuts. It had a lot of memorable lines, and I actually had some trouble deciding which lines to include. For my Grand Slam and on baseline. The MVP for this episode I gave to Nicholas Colasanto. Even though the storyline primarily focused on Sam and Diane with Dave Richards, his lines were phenomenal and the way he delivered them, such as the whole phone ringing in his head and whatnot. He does a great job. So I had to give that to him. Best dress I gave to Norm Peterson, and the reason is in the cold opening, he's got this beautiful trench coat, and I love the trench coat. So I had to give that to him. The Grand Slam line. Diane and Sam were talking. It's after she was upset about the phone, the little black book. And he asks her if she's not talking to him. Diane says, I hate you with the white hot intensity of 1,000 suns. And Sam replies, somebody's cranky. The on baseline is after Sam almost leaves with I almost said Hunter. Dave almost left with Dave Richards and tells Diane that he must have blacked out. He says, Coach, I'm having blackouts. Coach responds, it's kind of a nice break in the day, isn't it, Sam? Here's a little known fact. Cliff called Gandhi a fine piece of cinematic art. This was also in the cold open. If you remember Norm was going on the date with Arlene, they're watching Gandhi. So anyway, Cliff calls Gandhi a fine piece of cinematic art. John Ratzenberger, who as we know plays Cliff Clavin, had a small role in Gandhi as the American lieutenant. If you liked this episode, please do all the things like, comment, subscribe on whatever you're listening to. You can join our Facebook group, Cheers, That's One Woman's Hold that better. Cheers, That's One Woman's Opinion podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram at Cheers One Woman's Opinion podcast. You can follow us on Twitter X at One Woman's Opinion. And as always, you can email us with questions and comments, etc. at Cheers One Woman's Opinion podcast at gmail.com. Next week, we will be looking at Cheers Season 2, Episode 8, Manager Coach. And also, we have a special episode next Friday on the 17th for George Wendt's birthday, where I'll be rewatching the movie House. Actually, it's my first time watching it. And if all goes well, I'm going to have a special guest, somebody that, not a famous person, just somebody that happened to meet George Wendt. So I asked him to join me. So he should be on there for that as well. And that is One Woman's Opinion.